This is VOA News. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey. U.S. President Joe Biden says he's standing by his weekend statement that Russia's Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani reports.
Fleeing the violence to neighbor. Since Saturday, White House officials have been clarifying that the president was not talking about regime change in Moscow. He says he was expressing moral outrage over Putin's conduct in Ukraine, with millions fleeing the violence to neighboring Poland.
I just come from being with those families.
And his remarks were more an aspiration than a foreign policy goal.
People like this shouldn't be ruling countries, but they do. The fact they do, but doesn't mean I can't express my outrage about it.
And says he's neither walking back the comment nor apologizing. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Ukraine said it was hoping that the first face-to-face peace talks with Russia in over 2 weeks, set for Tuesday, could lead to a ceasefire. But a U.S. official said President Vladimir Putin did not appear ready to make compromises to end the war. The more than month-long invasion, the biggest of a Western nation since World War II, has seen over 3.8 million people flee abroad, left thousands dead or injured, and brought the isolation of Russia's economy. Nearly 5,000 people have been killed, including about 210 children in the port city of Mariupol, amid heavy Russian bombardment, according to figures from the mayor. Meanwhile, the United Nations said it has been able to bring food and medical supplies into Kharkiv, Ukraine's second biggest city and one of its hardest hit. Find more on these stories at voanews.com or follow us on the VOA mobile app. This is VOA News. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed what critics are calling the Don't Say Gay bill. The AP's Ed Donahue.
Teachers in Florida are forbidden from instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade.
I don't care what corporate media outlets say. I don't care what Hollywood says. I don't care what big corporations say. Here I stand. I'm not backing down.
DeSantis and Republicans have repeatedly said the bill is reasonable and parents, not teachers, should handle subjects of sexual orientation and gender identity with their kids.
We will make sure that parents can send their kids to school to get an education, not an indoctrination.
President Biden called the Florida bill hateful. Critics say it is so vaguely worded, speech at schools could be muzzled. I'm Ed Donahue.
Suspected bandits attacked a passenger train headed to the northern Nigerian city of Kaduna from Abuja, the capital, on Monday evening after they trapped the train, the Kaduna state government said. One passenger posted on Facebook that bandits planted explosives, which halted the train. He said bandits were trying to force themselves inside the train and gunshots were being fired. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack and no casualties have been confirmed. It's the second train attack since October in Nigeria, which faces an Islamist insurgency and armed bandits that have kidnapped hundreds of students, travelers, and villagers for ransom, leaving the population terrified. The government of El Salvador said Monday it has arrested more than 1,000 gang suspects after a wave of killings over the weekend. The government declared a state of emergency and locked down prisons after 87 murders were committed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Authorities have blamed the killings on gang members, and on Monday, authorities said soldiers and police had raided gang strongholds around San Salvador. El Salvador's Congress granted a state of emergency early Sunday amid the wave of 87 gang-related killings over the weekend. By comparison, there were 79 homicides in the entire month of February. Recapping our top story, U.S. President Joe Biden says he's standing by his weekend statement that Russia's Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power, as Ukraine says it hopes that the first face-to-face peace talks with Russia in over 2 weeks, set for Tuesday, can lead to a ceasefire. But a U.S. official says President Vladimir Putin does not appear ready to make compromises to end the war. The more than month-long invasion has seen 3.8 million people flee abroad. Reporting by remote, I'm Joe Ramsey.